Greetings, humans. This is a bit of a retrospective of the grind to get to the Cromwell. It is, I would say, by far the most enjoyable grind I have done to get to any particular tank in the tech trees. Tanks like the KV-1, well worth the grind, but some of the tanks you go through to get there, not so fond of them. This, however, is a far more enjoyable vehicle. This is the Cruiser Mark III. It's a fairly fast British light scout tank. It saw service in North Africa and in France in the early parts of the war. And it has a 4-round autoloader. Which brings us to firepower, first part of the Holy Trinity. Let's have a look at what it does to this LOL tractor. 3 rounds in rapid succession and an 8-second reload time. Might as well take care of it now while I don't have a target to shoot at. 8 seconds is not terribly bad for an autoloader. It's going to be a lot worse when you get into the higher tiers. So that punches fairly well and lets you completely take out a tank in one sitting. Assuming, of course, you're not up against a KV-1. So now, one of the advantages of this tank after the firepower is its mobility. At 48 kilometers per hour, it lets you get around the enemy's flank pretty quickly. And with a gun, they can protect you along the way. This is the 40mm pom-pom. Penetrates 49 millimeters of armor, does 45 points of damage per round, and you get 4 rounds in very rapid succession. About a half second between firing. So when you're top tier, you can do a lot of damage. AT-1 camping the base. Let it fully aim. 3 rounds. And a swing and a miss. Okay, so we'll back off. That H-35 knows we're here now. Reload, 8 seconds. And he's still got his flank to us. So we'll take advantage of that. Put 4 rounds into him. I think one of those missed at least. But we managed to take him down without taking return fire. Now rather than just zip into the base, we're going to go around, see if we can clear out anybody who's in this defensive line. Because we don't have the armor to take on tanks head on. If they've seen us attacking from that side, they're going to be expecting us. And we don't want to go head to head with something nasty from the enemy team. So we only got 14 millimeters of armor all around on this hull. And 14 at the front and back, I believe, of the turret, but only 12 on the sides. Which was pretty vulnerable. And sure enough, there's a T-18 that we would have been sitting right in front of. If there's one thing a T-18 with a derp gun likes, it's a nice light tank sitting there waiting to be shot and killed in 1 round. But at 48 kilometers an hour, we've got the speed to get around and attack him from behind. And we took a round there from a friendly, but when you're going to pull up behind a target that your friends are shooting at, you got to be willing to take a bit of friendly fire. Only one enemy left. He's way down at the far end of the map. Maybe we could get to him in time, but we just decide to pull in and catch a few quick base capture points. And hope we don't get shot by our own guys. All in all, not a bad match. I think it was the 3rd or 4th match in this vehicle. And it was the last of the points needed to move up to the Mark IV. It's Class 1 badge, 1100 experience points. 7,600 credits. Saw 4 tanks, killed 4 tanks. It's a pretty deadly little machine. It's good for flanking. Got the top damage, top experience, and that's with a couple of T-18s in the match. Actually, 3 T-18s. So, not bad at all. Walked away with 7,200 credits in profit, and enough experience and credits to buy the next tank in this grind. So Yeah, 3, maybe 4 matches in that. And we move right on to the Mark IV. This is armed currently with the quick-firing 40mm Mark VI Bofors, I believe. It will do 63mm of penetration, 50 damage per round. It's got a 4-round magazine, but it fires it in 2 bursts of 2 rounds each. So I'd like to get this into a hull-down position. It's got a 30mm frontal armor on the turret and the hull. 14 everywhere else except 12 at the sides of the turret. You can see it does decent damage. It's the same speed as the Mark III, 48 km/h speed limit. It's pretty peppy, good horsepower to weight ratio. You can back up quickly to engage targets. Now I thought this Panzer 38T would be on its own okay, but facing off against the 1C and the cruiser was a bit too much for one tank. We got a lucky shot, set him on fire. Now let's go up and see what else is going on in the town square. Maybe there's a busker festival going on. So no eyes on the T-18. But there is a BT-7. So we'll convince him of the error of his ways. Reload. This has a 6-second reload. And where the Mark III has an accuracy of 0.48, the Mark IV has an accuracy of 0.41. So a better gun. And someone else got that tank. Even though we did most of the damage, that's fine. It's another gun out of the game and a better chance of winning. But this is a very good tank for relocating, changing your plans, moving from point A to point B quickly, and doing damage when you get there. Okay, we're taking some hits there, non-damaging. We do have a bigger hit point pool than that Cruiser 3 next to us. He's got 150 hit points. We have 230. And he took a nasty hit there. We come around this corner and there is an M3 light. Can't quite get a decent shot at him. Quite sensibly, he's keeping his tank on the move. Did not do much to him there. Maybe knocked out a radio. Now, he's definitely in a better position than me, so we pull ahead. Bounce a few shots off him, take more damage than we dealt. Also a hit from the side, but not sure who from. Someone beyond this block of buildings. We're going to back off so we can entice him around the corner. He's having none of that. He's got a Chiha to fight. So we'll pop back out. Fortunately, the Chiha did not last quite long enough. He's a pretty good driver. He knows his business. We're going to back off. Now at this point, this is where an autoloader can be very handy. We're low health, we're a tempting target. He wants that kill like there's no tomorrow, but he's got to run that 4-round gauntlet to get it. So now this is pretty much looking like a lock. And one of the other strengths of the Mark IV comes into play with the 48 km/h speed limit. We can quickly quarter this map and find the remaining target. So we'll check in the usual artillery hiding spots. This is a popular spot because you've got very little material between you and your gun to mask your fire, but he's not sitting here. So that means he's beyond the tracks. And disco. There he is. Does he see us? Yes, he does. But having 4 rounds ready to hand makes quick work of them. It's not a bad match. Mastery badge, 1780 credits, or rather 1780 experience, 14,870 credits. Damaged quite a few tanks, killed 3. And got just under 1,000 damage on the enemy. This tank averages around 0.3 kills per battle overall. Because it's more about the scouting, I would say, than killing rampages. I'm sure you'll find people who've got tons of kills in this vehicle, though. Played right, it can be pretty devastating. Not that it's being played right in this instance. Okay, so here we have it on, what do you call this map? I shall call this map Bob. Here we are playing on Bob. Sorry, it's just they always have a different name in the replay than they have in the actual screenshots. We're going to come down the middle, because I think the middle is a highly underrated path on this map. And I don't really want to go on the highly rated path and run into all their heavies. No shot on the murder. That Chiha right there should be hittable. There we go. I think we should have got some damage on him there. Go for that 6-second reload. Back out. Not seeing him. Move in case he's seeing us. Clearly I do not have 6th sense on these vehicles. And there he is. I think we got at least a round in him. And again, having 4 rounds in rapid succession comes in very handy against a tier 4. With this gun, you get an effective rate of fire of, I believe, 36 rounds per minute, which is one of the fastest firing rates outside of, something like the machine guns they have on the Panzer 1C. So now at this point, the match is somewhat developed. People are either camping in place or they've fully deployed and engaged the enemy. So I'm hoping that any heavies that came down this way have already gone past on my left. Because what I want to do now is what this tank is really meant to do. Get around the flank, find their juicy targets, and take them out. In this case, it's going to be their artillery. They've got 2 artillery, and even on a map like this with all these rocky hills, artillery will change how your teammates are thinking. You can't just concentrate on the enemy behind the building in front of you. You also have to worry about artillery dropping rounds on you. So there's a tier 5 artillery, MX-13 Armor's no challenge, but it has a fairly sizable hit pool. So we're going to have to reload and take our chances a second time with this guy. Alright, so let's reload. Taking out the artillery always helps. If you can get them both, it really helps. So I'm going to ignore that 38T a second time because he's not really impacting the match. This guy, on the other hand, again, the damage rolls I'm getting, not quite enough to take these guys out in one go. And unfortunately the 46 is not a bot, but I'm concentrating on the arty because that was what I came here for. And our arty can concentrate on the tank. And there he goes. Well, we get spotting damage for that destruction. And our team now has a little breathing room. Just one thing I do not like, it's playing as a tank, knowing that artillery is breathing down my neck. I don't see any campers down this way. So, I think perhaps I will decline the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with the KV-1. that Martyr 38T is now a potential threat because I believe our teammates are thinking of capping. So let's go back and provide support to our Hetzer. Combination of his firing power and our quick firing ability should be able to hold that 38T off, if not completely destroy him in very short order. So we'll do an insurance cap if our medium fails to kill that KV-1, which is entirely possible. He still won't be able to get back the KV-1 in time to decap us. So I think in this case, getting on the cap is a sensible course of action. So there's the Martyr 38T. Once again, that powerful Bofors gun is up to the task. And that KV-1, he's got no chance of decapping us at this point. So the Stuart and the M7 are just harassing him, holding him in place. The artillery's having a little fun with him as well. So let them farm some credits off that guy until we cap. Not a bad match. Another mastery. Can't see the score. I think it's 666. I, for some reason, have Master Gunner expanded in the middle. But yeah, mastery badge and something else. It's already gone. Sorry, too late. 26 rounds fired, 20 hits. Of that, only one failed to penetrate. It's not a bad gun, even on a tier 5 match. Most of what we ran into were tier 5. Did just under 800 damage, 886 experience. Not bad. Not a bad match. And not a bad grind. You're going to have a lot of fun driving the Cromwell, but you're also going to have a lot of fun just getting there. Take care out there. Have a good one.